Every so often, while just touring the Steam workshop for Hearts of Iron 4, you come across a random mod, and you do not really know what it is about exactly, and yet you still wish to play it, just to experience this one little thread of someone else's imagination, which might be extremely interesting. Today I was browsing the workshop when I came across the Murder Drones mod. The lore of this mod, and by the way, the localization is written by a person whose native language is not English, so do not judge them too harshly. But anyway, the lore of this mod is that murder drones from a planet called Cooper 9 landed on the Earth in the Caucasus region, and the Soviet Union was quickly overwhelmed by the absolute power of these murder drones. They were controlled by a person, or rather an entity called the Absolute Solver. Now, after conquering the Caucasus and establishing a temporary base of operations there, the Absolute Solver started a brutal totalitarian regime where human concepts like freedom and money were completely abolished for humans. But there is one human girl who has survived the oppression, despite the fact that her kin are treated like devils, and her name is Tessa. She is a young girl, and she has helped tons of the murder drones. Due to this, she has an uncanny ability to control them, or perhaps at least to make them spare her. God knows what would be the future of this drone state. But the reason this mod seems intriguing to me is because it is very much vanilla Hearts of Iron 4, but with a twist, with a power fantasy. That with this incredibly advanced drone army, you can just paint the map your color. And of course, they have got a focus tree, which starts with the Winter Massacre, also known as the Gala Massacre. And if you read the lore, then this is the lore. The lore tells you how exactly the Soviet Union was defeated by these robotic drones, and then the Turks joined in the actions and even they were defeated. And then we have got a profile of some of these murder drones like V, J, Uzi, Khan, and Doll. And then we have got a little mechanic here for what each of the main powers of these era feels about these drones. For example, the Nazis, they believed that their technology could be harnessed and considered it as a gift to mankind. The Japanese Empire shares the views of the National Socialists. Meanwhile, the Kingdom of Italy simply decides to dismiss the entire phenomenon as an exaggeration. Then after that, of course, we have got the first drone elections, and it is between Sin, the absolute solver, and the other people. So if Sin wins, then of course you establish a state where everything is controlled. There is the big sister policy, and you deal even with sympathizers, and you do a lot of sci-fi stuff if she wins. And of course, you go into slavery and you keep conquering different areas of the world. That is a prominent part of this mod. It really reminds me a lot of Hermann Goering's tree in old TNO mod. And of course, the other path that we have here is this one, where the absolute solver wins and he programs a nation and he establishes a sort of hive mind control over all the drones. There are concentration camps for humans and solverism above all. And he takes control of all the drones. He's still expansionist, but more into an ultra totalitarian hive mind sort of expansionism. And look at this focus tree. Jesus Christ, this reminds me of Chengiz Khan and his mountain of redacted. Then we have got other cool focus icons like this here. And in general, this is a pretty lightweight little mod that you can just try out, experience it, and perhaps you may like it. So the link to the mod is given in the description. I hope you try the mod. I hope you have liked this little video. And of course, have a great day. Goodbye.